Hello guys, welcome to the latest episode of Swan TV. I am delighted to be joined by Ian Hacon and Chris Carr, joint owners of Zaks restaurants.
Hello.
Zaks back in business, opening up again, which is great to see. So either of you guys really, do you want to just give us a little bit of a background, a little bit of a history into how you guys came to sort of being a big part of Zaks again, and how really the last few months and the challenges have been?
Yeah, so we were originally involved in the brand for a very long time previously. I was CEO at Blue Sky Leisure. I actually brought Chris in. Chris moved his whole family down from Manchester to become our operations director for the restaurants. At one point, he was running all the restaurants across all of Blue Sky Leisure, including in the holiday parks. Then we focusing back on Zaks. He came originally to work in Zaks, and then he focused back on Zaks because we were building for a big expansion by a franchise. For one reason or another, that didn't go ahead. I then left the business. Chris left the business a couple of years later. We actually popped up working together in another organisation where I was a non-exec, and Chris came in operations director capacity there for a year or two. So we've known each other since 2006. We work very closely together. We're very good friends as well, which always helps. Chris kind of rescued Zaks when he joined in 2006. It kind of wasn't quite what it all needed to be. It wasn't quite performing financially. It wasn't quite delighting the customers. And so he spent a good 10 years really putting Zaks back on the map. Chris went through that experience with my support previously. Then when we both left, the brand, the owners didn't take it forward as well as they would have liked. They were looking for a new burst of enthusiasm and energy for the brand to take it forward. So they approached us late last year about maybe taking the brand back on. So after a fairly short negotiation, we completed at the end of January. And then I'm going to pass over to Chris to talk to you a little bit about what we've done since then operationally. Obviously, we've done a lot behind the scenes financially because of lockdown, which I've been sort of looking after. But I'll let Chris talk you through how the operations changed in that short period, including being closed for 3 months.
Perfect.
Yeah, so certainly it wasn't in our business plan to lock down business. Literally 6 weeks, 7 weeks after we took it over. But I mean, Ian says there's a real fondness for Zaks. I'd say it's more than that. I think there's a real love for Zaks, and the people of Norwich are really passionate about the brand. And it is. We don't see ourselves as the owners. We see ourselves as the custodians at the moment.
Lovely.
We're the custodians of this brand that has been going since 1976. And yeah, it's got that fond memories with the older people, but then that older generation brought their kids, and their kids have now bringing their kids. So it's got that real sort of multi-generational span. And people always ask me, what's the demographic at Zaks? And I say, well, there isn't one. The demographic at Zaks is people who like Zaks and like the food. There is no sort of like 18 to 30, this earning this income on that bracket. It is, I mean, our sort of purpose is to be everyone's favourite. So it is trying to tick those boxes so we can be something to everyone, which is hard to do. But because the brands, if you were launching a new brand, that'd be really, really hard to launch. But because it has got that love for Zaks over the years, there is people go, yeah, I came there when I was this old, or I did this, or I came for my birthday, or I remember this time, or I remember having a burger, then rolling down the hill at Mousehole to the car park. And things
Chris, I was a huge fan when I was a kid. I was brought up, lived in Sheringham. But to be fair, we'd always have those days when my dad goes, well, we'll drive up to Zaks, and we always used to go to the Mousehole one and loved it. And your rolling down the hill was certainly something that I did. You don't leave hungry, do you? So it's great.
So when we sort of took our, obviously during our due diligence phase before we sort of purchased, obviously we went through that due diligence to go, right, actually, how can we do this? Can we bring this back? Can we turn it around? And the thing is, when we were sort of looking out at the noise about Zaks that had happened, was it seemed like they potentially stopped listening to actually the customers and their team. So the first thing we did was start listening to the customers and team, and we had all this wealth of sort of social media, anecdotal stuff, speaking to the team members. One of the first things on day one, we sent out a questionnaire to the team about how they felt about the brand and how they felt about things at the moment. So we could really sort of go, right, well, what can we change quickly? And we sort of coined and changed the Mark Zuckerberg saying. So he was like, move fast and break things.
Yeah.
We coined the phrase, let's move fast and fix things.
Lovely.
Because the corporate structure had kind of gone, and we were sort of like owners that were in the business, we felt, well, we can actually move fast and fix things. We don't have to have a board meeting and go through lots of decision-making process. If we want to fix something, we'll sort it out, and if we can do it straight away, we'll do it. And that's literally what we did in the first sort of 3-4 weeks of the brand, is reach out to the customer, say, right, tell us what you want, tell us what you need, tell us what you've missed, and the same for the team. And then if we could sort it out straight away, for example, changing the burger back, changed the burger last year when they launched a new menu. It wasn't really what the customers wanted. They wanted the Zaks burger that they've been eating for sort of 43 years. That's saying, and then they missed that, so we turned that around and we put that straight back in. We changed the fries because they didn't want the skin on fries. They just wanted their nice skinny fries. We changed that. We brought Budweiser back on draft that had been taken off because everybody loves a burger and a Bud when it comes to Zaks. So we made some changes, and we were very open and honest about it. We sort of went out there on social media. We started putting ourselves at the front of the band as people, so it wasn't just somebody faceless on social media putting posts out there. We put ourselves right on the front line of media, and spoke honestly and said, yes, some things aren't right, some things aren't great, but we're doing this. And the response we got was amazing. We kind of coined this hashtag Your Zaks. So this is Your Zaks, where we're gonna sort it out. And I think that one of the first videos we did went viral, and I think it had 74,000 views.
Amazing.
Over the
I think that's something I'd like to touch upon quite quickly, is that social media presence that you guys have built up very, very quickly. Because whilst Zaks was, well known, especially, specifically locally and in Norwich, since you guys took it on, and like you said, through your social media campaigns and stuff like that, you have built a serious following and a serious presence on things like Facebook and stuff like that in a very, very quick time. And was that always an objective of yours?
So as much as me and Ian do like to be in a strategic place and plan things out and look at things in the future, with that move fast and fix things, we were being very reactive. And we were planning to be reactive, but there wasn't too much planning. It was a case of, right, well, should we do this? Should we do this? Well, let's just ask people. Let's do. And then we were changing decisions and moving things around and changing very, very quickly. And I think because we were engaging and asking the customers what they want, they were like, oh, right, okay, they're actually listening now, and we can see the results of it. So that engagement grew and grew. And then because we were listening to those people, they started to support us. We've been growing the Instagram page as well, which Zaks really wasn't involved on Instagram, but we've taken that forward. And this has not been by employing some whizzy marketing company. We do have some great people that are in the know, and we speak to, and they advise us and thing, but we've just done it all ourselves. This is our family business now. This is my family and Ian's family, and that's what it's all about. It's a family business, and the Zaks team is our extended family. So building that social media presence has been exceeded our expectations, and we've just gone for it.
And more importantly, I think what's been, obviously, there's that traction there of the brand loyalty that was there, that was a little bit had been lost, but then those customers quickly came back and they're sort of like, oh, you're fixing things, are you? I can come back, can I? So we had that traction there, that the brand has got such a following anyway, which is a credit to Chris from his previous involvement anyway, but obviously that does go back to like Harvey's days in the 70s as well. But we made a commitment at the outset to, when we said we're going to put ourselves front and centre of the social media market, and to make sure our personalities came through and we had a bit of fun with it.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't stuffy, and that, and they are a bit on the fly, and then we record them on Chris's phone, and There's no production quality in there. As good as Chris can shoot on his phone and I can edit on my computer.
I think that's the thing, though, Ian. It's the authenticity, isn't it? It's authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big word I'd use with Zaks. It is authentic. It is, it is you guys putting yourselves out there, your personalities, and like you say, it's not trying to be flash, nothing like that at all. It's just like, here we are. This is what we're doing. This is what you.
But even in the difficult messages around lockdown, hopefully we still made people smile.
Yeah. And that's important. And I suppose on lockdown, obviously, like Chris alluded to, you completed things in January, and then not too far thereafter, you had to close down.
Well, it was just because we'd started to see momentum in the brand again. So the customers were coming back. They were coming back and supporting us, and everything was probably turning around quicker than we hoped for. So the momentum we had was fabulous. I mean, people were coming back. We were having busy shifts again, and we were getting great positive feedback. And we were on this slight upward trajectory, and then, bam, COVID hits. It's like, wow, what do we do here? We sort of changed things up a bit, and we moved to a takeaway service for a little while from all places. We absolutely put the trust in Rishi for a little bit. When the lockdown sort of first happened, he sat there and said, "We'll look after the business. Just wait for it." And I know a lot of hospitality businesses, when Boris said, "Right, well, actually, we're actually advising," before he actually locked down, he said, "Please don't go to pubs and restaurants." And it was like, okay, that's not really black and white, is it, Boris?
No.
Off the back of that, we decided to sort of shut down Waterside first, because that was the smallest restaurant with the smallest team. We kept trading on takeaway for a little bit. Then there was the full lockdown, and then we didn't lay anybody off. We didn't do any of that. We just said, right, we're just patiently waiting to see what this government support looks like. And then once the furlough scheme was announced, we were sort of really exceeded all expectations. Yeah. So everybody was furloughed apart from ourselves. So I was working hard on continuing to work on the menus, and actually the opportunities it presented was, well, actually, what can we do that we were going to do in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months? What can we do now? Actually, the restaurants are all closed. So Ian worked really hard on making sure that the team were sort of all looked after, on the furlough scheme was calculated, getting the grants and making sure that we were taking advantage of everything that was there on offer. And then myself was in the restaurants going, right, well, actually, let's refurb Waterside. It was in our plan to do. We're actually closed now, so we're closed. So as soon as contractors are free and safe and able to come back, let's plan for it. And then when the workforce can come and do the work, we'll turn that on straight away. I did a lot of work in the restaurants myself, on my drill and moving things and putting things up and pictures.
Good man.
And alongside working on the menu and the recipes and stuff in the background as well. So when we did open, we opened with a bang. So we weren't going to go, we're open a little bit. But we wanted to make sure that when we opened, because sort of rule of thumb with Zaks, it's got to be Zaks.
Of course it has. Yeah, you want more people remember.
It's got to be Zaks, which is big and bold. When the lockdown was initially eased, we then decided that was safe for us to operate a takeaway service, but only from Mousehold and Pouringland. Yeah. We felt that we only needed one location for that, and we launched a new takeaway menu with some of the old favourites back and some new stuff on there as well. And that, when we opened up, we were blown away by the response.
Yeah.
We were going down the route of potentially doing just eat and delivery and things like that, and it was like, do you know what? We really don't want to pay somebody 30% to get our food out there.
Not at all.
We don't want Zaks to lose that money, because that's there for our teams and our
And I think at that point, obviously, not some people can't get out, but most people were looking for an excuse to get out of their house at that point. Yeah. So driving up to Mousehold and walking up the hill and picking up your takeaway was a day out. That was like, whoa, I'm going to Mousehold today.
It's a day out. I love it.
I might have to do my hair.
I'm going to
Mousehold. Some people were turning up in the pyjamas as well, but that was great as well.
Yeah, so many customers and so many smiley faces and so many people You know, and people that I see in my other world with my Energize Me hat on, you know, clients of mine, and business people, you know, like bank managers and HR directors, of like, oh, so pleased you're open. An HR director of one of the big firms of accountants that I know quite well was in Zaks Poringland on the opening night of Takeaway to get her fix. It's like, I'm so pleased.
Well, that's it, you know, the love's there. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the thing to say about Zaks. The love around Norfolk and, you know, well, Norfolk as a county, to be fair, is there, isn't it? And people want to support it. And I know personally, and I know a lot of people want to see you guys do well with it. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, I think it did have a bit of a lull for a few years. And like you said, people maybe fell out of love with it. But I think you guys have done an absolutely sensational job in bringing the love back for Zaks and, you know, bringing the brand back with a bang and, you know, just getting it back to like the glory days. And to be honest with you, if not above where it used to be, in my personal opinion, because, you know, like I say, you brought back everything everybody wanted, but then you've added stuff to that. And you've just, you know, come back with a huge bang. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Look at that.
Gone for a bit of 80s vibe because it was opened in 88. And
I love it, mate. It looks great. It looks brilliant.
A little quick tour. And because this is Jane as well. Say hello, Jane.
Hi. How you doing?
And obviously we've got, the reason we went with Waterside opening first was because we've got this amazing
that's great
riverside location. We've redone all the outside areas and it's looks all lit up at night. And then we've got a covered area here where the roof pops off. So we've got, it was actually the easiest place to make the decision to open because we were going to give it some shiny new clothes. And the way it's laid out, there is plenty of space to spread out and move the tables. So we actually managed to get, we're about 70% of our original capacity here.
Amazing. Well, Ian, it's your turn to shine now, my friend, because we're going to move on to the objects that I asked you to bring with you. So
which I haven't brought.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what he's brought. But
well, you can have the bonus object first.
Okay. Well, just here we go. Oh, I love it. Here we go. Go on. You carry on, Ian.
I'm getting caught in my man bun.
Look at that.
Go. There's your bonus object. That's not one of my three.
We're just selling the merchandise.
Yeah.
Mate, it looks brilliant. It looks brilliant. And it's good.
It does look like a good thing for urban cycling, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And you were saying earlier that's what you provided all the staff with and stuff like that to use.
And they're also allowed to wear their own to reflect their personality. So we've provided the Zaks ones, but if they want to wear a tie-dyed one or
a screen mask,
they can reflect their personality through their masks.
Love it.
They don't have them up all the time, so it's only when we're entering the customer's space or taking food or drinks out to actually take the order. We're actually standing back from the tables because we feel that the eye contact and the getting emotional responses on the face is really important. We're actually distancing when we take the order, but then when we're actually interacting and entering the customer's space, the face masks are on. Kitchen have to wear them all the time. The person on the bar has to wear them all the time. But the team members, you will see a smile if you come back to Zaks. You won't just see this.
You will see somebody smiling, which I love. Which I love. Great. So Ian, in the spirit of the colours of the rainbow and the NHS and all the essential workers and things like that, what is your what's your first object you brought with you?
Okay. So you'll notice that I don't actually move very far in the spectrum. I end up in a similar sort of space.
That's all right.
I'm going to start off with a spare inner tube for my bike.
I love it, mate. I love it. And that is orange.
And the relevance of that is that connects my two worlds together.
Yeah.
Because you know that in my other business, it's all about energy and well-being and health and fitness. And I'm a very keen triathlete cyclist outside of work. So after I went to Zaks yesterday and spent the latter part of the day in the restaurant welcoming guests in, I got on my bike and cycled back to Galston. So with a spare inner tube in my back pocket just in case I got an unmentionable.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Well, keeping yourself energised during lockdown, which is vitally important as well, obviously, because it can get a bit lethargic just sitting in your house all day. Yeah. Absolutely. And your second object?
Well, kind of connected. The go-to food.
Oh, the banana.
Yeah. You cannot beat a banana for a quick snack. Full of nutrients, a good energy boost, slow release. And well, we won't go anywhere else with where Chris's mind is going with bananas, but.
Well, a quick snack for me and Zaks is just going in my energy beast is a bowl of chili, to be honest.
Good man. Good man. That's more like it. That sounds better to me. That sounds better to me. I mean, do you have any banana-inspired dishes?
I had a banana-inspired dish on Wednesday night in our trial. We had a trial night Wednesday night at Parliament, just to make sure that staff were comfortable with the delivery style, and myself and my family ate in it. And I had our banana-flavoured adult milkshake.
Very good. And it was good? You're happy with that? Recommend
Excellent.
that?
Really
Recommend
good.
that?
Yeah, we also there's banana split, good old-fashioned banana split.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
you see, not enough people do them anymore. You see, that's a reason to go to Zaks, if nothing else. The fact that you guys do banana splits.
and
James, if you want to go old school, we've got a screwball on the menu.
Oh, my days. You really are going old school. I love it. I love it. This is it. Just get yourself Zaks for the old school desserts.
also on there as well, for the kids, we do bananas and custard now as well.
Oh, my day. Look at this. Just keeps coming.
Yeah.
It keeps coming. I love it. I love it. Brilliant stuff, guys. Brilliant stuff. And Ian, your final item.
My final item is, of course, one of my red shoes, James.
Of course. Famous for them.
Yes.
I'm just going to go off camera for a second, just because I've just got a customer walk through the door. So
Oh, well, that's like you, Chris. Please do. Well, this is lovely. I love this. This is gonna make a great show.
Yeah.
That's been going on.
I'm back.
Ian's, he's back. That was quick. So yeah, talk about the significance of your red shoes, Ian.
So that does go back to the previous iteration of my current other business. I think you know the story, but for the benefit of the people viewing, I originally called the business Yellow Brick Road because the analogy was that we were taking people on a journey, which is still very true with the way we work with customers. So I kind of got completely into the role and decided, well, if I'm going to be called Yellow Brick Road, I better be Dorothy and I better start wearing red shoes.
Absolutely.
And kind of, we're not even called Yellow Brick Road anymore. We're called Energize Me.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of stuck. So my standard uniform is kind of red, white, and blue now.
Yeah.
I've got a grey shirt on today because I've got my Zaks t-shirt on,
Nice.
but grey goes with red, white, and blue. So it was, that's my standard thing: a pair of red shoes, some blue jeans, and anything else to match. Yeah,
and that's the thing, mate. I'm upset for seeing you, and you're not kitted out in that way. I think that's one of the things, isn't it? And it's important, isn't it? It's like that's your brand is your brand, but your personal is a big part of the brand that you are looking to promote, and you've always somebody that's done that amazingly well around Norfolk. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because although I kind of try to look as stylish as I can with it in my way, I wouldn't say I'm any kind of fashion icon, but I kind of just like to be myself.
Yeah.
But it's that thing Mark Zuckerberg said about his grey t-shirt, isn't it? So you know what your uniform is. So it's one less decision to make in the morning. Just like
100%.
I know that I'm just going to go for a white shirt, a pair of jeans, some red shoes, and some detail.
You're good to go. I appreciate it.
And I know something we haven't talked about is our team engagement during this, and I know that's a big thing for you,
Chris. Hit me with it. Go. Yeah.
I want to pick on that sort of engagement we've done with the team quickly during.
Yeah. So,
please do.
So we, and I know because I've seen you speak, James, about your engagement, and what you've done at Indigo Swan, which is amazing. We knew that we needed to stay in touch with the team and keep close to them, and that's this difficult balance, isn't it? Because you kind of got to leave them alone because of furlough, but you want to keep them engaged. So the main sort of vehicle we used was a Facebook private group. And then religiously every what settled to be every Tuesday, me and Chris do a live show for about, depending on what the subjects are, about half an hour. Two-way show where so if there's been an announcement by Boris or Rishi or someone that affects our business, we'll have disseminated that down, worked out how it affects the team, how it affects the business. We talk about that. We give an update on where we are with refurbishments and opening. Chris will give a lot of detail into the safety measures we're taking to, make sure they come back safely, etc. And then
that's all the boring stuff. We also did some fun stuff as well.
But that was the cornerstone of our engagement, really. The fact and nearly all the staff are in that group, and nearly all the staff either watched it live or watched it back again. And it was a two-way thing. So they were asking us questions, we were answering them live, or saying we'll come back to you. And then we encouraged the team to get creative with with the sort of fun side. So an enormous WhatsApp group developed with nearly all the team in, spearheaded by the chap that does all of our maintenance across our site, David, who was absolutely brilliant, like setting up all the, and everybody's done a few quizzes and stuff, I know, but he was just constantly keeping the momentum going in that group. And what that actually did, which was really interesting, was brought the restaurants together, because they very much, they did cross over a bit, and they did, they did all know each other, but they did still work a little bit in isolation of each other. So it kind of brought all the teams together. So now, and that's actually come full circle now. We're starting to open, and there's much more sharing of the teams going on than there ever was before, and it's much more organic. That's not Chris saying, right, Mansell, you need to send 10 people down to Waterside because they're busy. It's kind of like, how can I help you? What can we do? How can we get more people in your restaurant? And just this like collaborative working across the sites that was there a bit before, but it's just like turbocharged now.
Yeah,
amazing.
We did do some quiz. We did lots of quizzes. One of the team did through the keyhole. So
I love it.
Brilliant. So she got like the team to send her videos of their houses or items in their houses and stuff. And then that went on to the Facebook group, and she do like one a day for about 3 weeks. So she got like loads of in, and people just guessing, who locks down in a house like this was kind of
love it.
The saying, which was brilliant. We did the big fat Zaks quiz of the year, which was a bit of a marathon quiz night that we did on Friday night with Rabbi, who was running. He was actually doing one off his own back for the Marisol team every Friday without fail. So he was doing that so well. I said, well, we need to do this for all Zaks, and been raising money for charity via the lockdown Olympics and all sorts. And a lot of that has been team led as well, but we've sort of been trying to facilitate that through the channels that we've had. So although we weren't in the same room as the team, we felt like we were in the same room as the team throughout lockdown.
And it's interesting because last night on opening night pouring, and one of our team members' mothers came in with extended family, not with our team member, but with everybody else in their extended family. And she commended us for way we've communicated with the team over lockdown, which I thought was really nice. It's just like, this doesn't happen.
No, to be honest, it sounds like you've done an amazing job, and I think that's key. I mean, you guys have had your own challenges. Do you know what I mean? Picking up a business in January, and then with everything else coming, and still putting that level of engagement at the top of the agenda. I'm very passionate about that, and what we do at Indigo Swan. And it sounds like you've done an amazing job. And I think one of the key things you say there is that open and that honest communication with the team. Yeah. There's no point saying we're going to do this if we're not. There's no point saying we're going to get people off furlough if we're not. It's a case of, let's be open, let's be honest, and make sure that communication is always given in that way. It sounds like you've done a great job with that, so well done.
Thank you.
But no, guys, like I say, we'll end it there. I'll let you get on with your days. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you also for giving Norfolk an extremely positive story over the last 4 months. For me, it's been great seeing the stuff you guys have been doing on social media. It's been great seeing the stuff you guys are in the press with. And just to have what it has been, it has been an extremely positive story over the last sort of 4 months, why things haven't necessarily always been positive, has been lovely to see. And fingers crossed it's given people of Norfolk a big boost. So thank you ever so much for that. And thanks for joining us.